It may look broken, but this train is functioning exactly as intended. It's another rail grinder repairing imperfections along the rails. Some landscapes are only truly appreciated through the window of a train ride. Teenagers everywhere break rules, but railway tracks are never a place to play around. To truly show people the destructive force of train collisions, demonstrations like this should probably happen more often.
Let me.
300 kilometers per hour. Now you understand why they call it a bullet train. On Mount Pilatus in Switzerland, the rails themselves actually move in order to switch tracks.
Get up!
In Lodi, California, a police officer sprinted toward the tracks to rescue a man trapped in a wheelchair only moments before a train arrived. On this train, every single seat comes with a perfect window view. When a man's leg became trapped between the train and platform, complete strangers immediately rushed in together to help save him. This Croatian train is engineered to function even in inverted conditions. In Switzerland, the Pilatus cogwheel system locks perfectly into the rack rail, allowing a 2,100-meter climb without slipping. Quick action by the driver in England stopped the train just in time for a dog on the tracks.
Let me see. You see it? I got it. Yay!
As WMSR 1309 exits Brush Tunnel, steam erupts in a powerful blast. This high-rail truck drops its rail wheels in seconds, converting from road to rail mode instantly. A truck stuck on tracks in Texas was hit by a train moments later. Miraculously, no injuries. In Indonesia, a locomotive travels through city streets on a heavy haul trailer for maintenance. The motorhome driver failed to react as a train approached in Rexburg, Idaho, leading to a frightening collision. Indian rush hour summed up perfectly in one clip.
And Amelia just picked me up from work, and I have wanted to see this for so long. This is how they transport the fuselages for this.
A freight train transports unfinished aircraft fuselages like giant tubes on wheels.
On flatbed railroad cars. And it is so cool. And
Dream come true.
this is my dream come true, to see this in person.
If you love real railway footage, train engineering, and unbelievable moments, hit subscribe and join the community. A steam locomotive releases pressure at speed, briefly disappearing in a cloud before breaking through again. I can't believe how intense this looks. Steam engines feel like another universe entirely. Raw, heat, and unstoppable force. At a Serbia crossing, a driver tried to beat an oncoming train and escaped at the last second. This is exactly why you never try to beat a train. A Chinese station was flooded during heavy downpours, halting operations completely. A steam locomotive was used to recover a crashed vehicle. pulling it off the tracks with sheer force. It's not just helicopters that fight wildfires. In 2018, a special firefighting train helped battle flames in California's forests. Sparks flew as a low-ram rail grinder tore through track in Virginia, creating enough heat to ignite a small trestle until a tanker truck arrived to put the U. Fire out, the Ontario Southland snowplow in all its glory. A train collided with an 18-wheeler loaded with cars and shirts. Amazingly, no one was injured. This video shows what happens when a locomotive spends a night in extreme winter weather. The holiday atmosphere here is absolutely unmatched. Canada really builds some of the toughest snowplows on the planet.
Oh look, he got a tire. That thing is popping.
After 18 years of restoration work, a 1913 steam snowplow in Switzerland finally moved under its own power again, climbing steep grades with the help of a century-old locomotive pushing behind it. Suspended monorail systems, including the Shonan line, which has surprisingly been running since 1970 across a 6.6-kilometer route.
鎌倉市消防本部からのお知らせです。ただいま春の火災予防運動が実施されております。車内や
Yes, This train is technically moving across water, but not because of flooding. This is Russia's Lake Berlinskoye, where extremely high salt concentration allows trains to harvest salt directly from the lake itself. Near the end of the steam era, JS8225 battled its way uphill under an enormous load. When a train rides two tracks at once, it's usually a bad sign. This Kazakhstan derailment proved it. A rail grinder reshapes the track surface with showers of sparks, restoring the rail profile. AB608. Passchendaele narrowly avoided disaster after a cyclist crossed directly into its path in New Zealand. In Poland, a truck driver became trapped between barriers and tried to signal the train, but trains can't stop that easily. For Mission Impossible 7, this incredible controlled stunt was performed for real. The driver jumped clear just in time, but the way that truck was dragged is a serious warning about stopping on railway tracks. A blue taxi sits stuck on the tracks, the driver waving for help, but sometimes it's not enough to change what's coming. The locomotive rolls onto a giant rotating platform that spins the engine around so it can head back the other way. No U-turns for trains. This bridge looks questionable, but the train operator doesn't seem concerned. Waves crash over the seawall at Dawlish while the London Penzance train continues through flooded rails. If train engineering and incredible railway moments fascinate you, subscribe before the next clip. These fire trucks travel on rails to reach emergencies faster. Chicago's CTA holiday. Train returns each year, decorated for the festive season. Australia's BHP iron ore train stretches an incredible 4.5 miles, making it one of the longest in the world. In 2020, Germany witnessed a bizarre ghost train rolling on its own while smoking heavily with nobody controlling it. Thankfully, it was stopped before things became much worse. When romance and railways combine, you get a proposal perfectly staying on track. Fun fact: this Australian train service has been running continuously since 1900. If you've ever struggled to understand the size of wind turbine blades, this train transport puts it into perspective instantly. Still wonder what convinced him to take such a dangerous risk, instead of waiting a few extra minutes. This is exactly what happens to trains operating through some of the coldest regions on Earth overnight. And whatever you do, never shut that engine off. The railway line through Dawlish in England is considered one of the most beautiful routes in the world, with ocean waves crashing directly against the passing train cars. In California, a semi-truck collided with a freight train, but luckily, the train was moving slowly on a loading line, allowing the driver to survive unharmed.
You can see that big rig was hit by a train.
And there it is, a rare look underneath the legendary Southern Pacific daylight. That's what real skill behind the controls looks like. What you're seeing here is the only operational replica of the world's very first steam locomotive, originally built in England back in 1802. This is India's fastest train, and it absolutely looks the part. Once again, riding on train roofs is never worth the risk. One sudden jolt or low-hanging wire can instantly turn fatal. NS-272 suffered a catastrophic engine failure, with thick smoke quickly turning into open flames after overheated oil or turbo components ignited under extreme load. Pennsylvania definitely knows how to celebrate Christmas in style.
Cold steel rails can create dramatic sparks during braking and traction. At nearly 96 miles per hour, the Gateman Express covers a football field in less than 2 seconds. That's why crossing tracks like this is never worth the risk. Here's traditional rail coupling, where workers manually connect heavy rail cars in one of the railway industry's most demanding jobs. A reminder to always let the train pass first. Thankfully, everyone involved was okay. If you can't experience the real thing, the tourist version is the next best option. This owner built an entire train system just for their cat. That's dedication. Mumbai's commuter trains operate at incredible capacity, carrying enormous numbers of passengers every day. This is exactly why warning signs tell passengers not to lean out of windows. That Swiss self-propelled rotary snowplow uses powerful spinning cutters to carve through deep alpine snow. Animals on active railways are a serious hazard. Fortunately, the Aravalli Express caught a lucky break here. She barely made it across, proving once again that trains are faster than most people think.
Disaster nearly struck at this railroad crossing. A steam locomotive steps in as the recovery vehicle, dragging a crashed car off the tracks with raw, old-school power. At Ortegara's crossing in Spain, an approaching train left a stranded truck with nowhere to go, turning the scene into a crash site.
Safe for that?
Zeus handled this one. We've all seen car washes. Now here's a train wash.
Those aren't random sparks. This machine is actively restoring the rail surface while moving. That driver's license should probably be reviewed immediately. In India, severe flooding raised water levels to the platforms, making trains appear as if they were sailing. Contact with a 25,000-volt overhead line triggered an instant electrical flash and emergency shutdown. Stand back and enjoy the sound of locomotive 37703 firing up on a cold morning before a test run to Burke Hill.
A terrifying moment unfolds as a car drives along the tracks just before impact. If you're enjoying these incredible railway moments, subscribe and join us for more train action at incredible speed. Norfolk Southern Ballast Cleaner restores stability by filtering the track bed. This chicken seems to know exactly how to use the railway. Fallen tree became trapped beneath a CSX train and was dragged at speed. Built in 1901, the Goktek Viaduct remains a remarkable example of steel engineering.
This rail grinder isn't destroying the track, it's reshaping steel for safety. If you're still watching, you're clearly enjoying these rail moments. Subscribe for more. When couplers fail, a train can physically separate in seconds. A recent incident in Vietnam this March is a sharp reminder that careless behavior near railway tracks can turn deadly in seconds. Even a locomotive can't rush a moose off the tracks. This is 21st century. Diesel power versus 1930s. Steam engineering, neither backing down. In Poland, a morning commute turned chaotic when a train derailed, freezing rail traffic instantly. This is steam engineering at its rawest. Pure power climbing uphill where momentum isn't enough.
Even trains deserve a spa day once in a while. At Tokyo's Ryogoku Station, this PlayStation advertisement syncs perfectly with passing trains, creating an incredible illusion. Old school engineering at its finest. Hopefully nobody was trying to enjoy a cup of tea during that ride. It may look like an ordinary train, but this locomotive is actually a preserved steel mill engine displayed in Ohio. The Flying Scotsman is still running on British railways. At 102 years old, it remains the world's most famous steam locomotive. If you're enjoying these incredible railway moments, don't forget to hit subscribe. More amazing train footage is on the way.
I think Christmas is coming early for somebody.
This freight train transports, or tanks because roads simply aren't practical for loads this heavy. If you love train compilations and real railway footage, subscribe before the next clip.
Oh my God!
This Hollywood-filmed incident proves how quickly mistakes near tracks can escalate. Six CSX cars derailed at Tyrone Crossing, though thankfully no injuries occurred. A blue taxi sits stranded on the tracks, but help doesn't arrive in time. This is steam engineering at its purest. JA12071, powering uphill where momentum isn't enough.
Luckily, this was a cargo train with no passengers on board. Rails can move heavy loads like tanks more safely than roads ever could. When infrastructure ages or drivers misjudge timing, steel meets consequences. Six CSX cars derailed at Tyrone Crossing, but no injuries were reported. A split-second phone distraction leaves zero room for recovery. In Japan, rail operators coordinate closely to allow emergency vehicles through. A truck tried to beat a train in Hanoi. The impact dragged it down the tracks. During a photo run on Nagasaki Railroad, Locomotive 2019 derailed mid-pass, ending a routine run unexpectedly, with only minor damage reported.
на русском радио.
Блин, Миша, мы снова набежали на
Настроение и незабываемые эмоции дарит шампанское Маренго.
Firefighters racing to a 5-alarm blaze crossed paths with a steam excursion in Tampaka, an intense near miss between 2 emergencies. Moose can weigh over 600 kilograms and fear almost nothing, not even a train. A once-in-a-lifetime moment happened when lightning struck an Odakyu Line train head-on in Japan.
Now that's a postcard-perfect railway scene. Modern diesel efficiency meets classic steam power, and neither one gives way. A truck driver in Bartow County escaped seconds before a train destroyed his vehicle. Rather than cutting the crossing first, this crew lets the train create the gaps itself. Snow doesn't stand a chance against this train charging straight through. after 18 years of restoration. A 1913, snowplow finally moved under its own power. Again. Japan operates a train featuring a giant T-Rex head bursting through the carriage. A train slices through deep snow and creates an instant blizzard. One mistake in South Texas brought together a turbine blade, a truck, and a train in one devastating collision.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
This derailment near Legnica shows how quickly tons of steel can become chaos.
In Bangsor, Indonesia, a stalled truck sat on the tracks moments before a train arrived. Come enjoy highlights from the 35th Anniversary Hunter Valley Steamfest and Great Train. Rainwater and debris caused a pantograph short circuit, creating dramatic electrical arcing. Well, apparently that's considered good enough. Need to supply multiple trucks? Put them on a train.
Il segnale è rosso, però il treno non si sta fermando.
That camouflage is impressive, although its purpose might leave you wondering. Sometimes snow reaches extreme depths, but this locomotive keeps pushing forward regardless. Thanks for watching these incredible railway moments. If you enjoy train accidents, locomotives, railway engineering, steam trains, and unbelievable footage caught on camera, subscribe for more. And before you leave, Check out the videos on your screen for even more amazing train moments, railway close calls, and powerful locomotives in action.